All right, what is going on? Back with another video. Hopefully you guys are having a fantastic day. Everything is good on my end. I cannot complain. It has been a crazy week so far, thinking about what's going on with Georgia Southern and Atlanta Falcons football. And I want to say this before I get into the spread of this upcoming game. Yes, we're going to be talking about Atlanta Falcons football here, but it's not going to be as prominent as it was in years past. We're going to focus a little bit more on Georgia Southern. Yes, Atlanta Falcons content will be here, but I do believe that you can go almost anywhere and find a lot of Atlanta Falcons content, and a lot of that stuff will be repetitive and redundant, and I don't want to throw that on top of what we do here when we talk about the Georgia Southern Eagles. And also, I do feel a little more attached and more passionate about Georgia Southern, so we're going to talk more Georgia Southern. And when it comes to the Falcons, we're going to tone it down a little bit, but it will be here. And we definitely going to be talking about the Atlanta Hawks, because I'm really excited about the Atlanta Hawks. So that's what's going to be going on in, the coming months on this channel. Hopefully you guys stick around and enjoy. So let's get into the Georgia Southern Eagles. All right, with that being said, Georgia Southern is going to be a 29.5 point underdog against USC. Do I think that spread is too low? You can make the case that it is, and I'm not necessarily confident that we'll cover the spread, if anything. Now, what I saw against Fresno State was a little bit concerning, especially when it came to the run defense, and I think it's going to be concerning to the point where it may get worse when we go play USC. Now, can they turn things around? Absolutely. I do believe, and I know a lot of people want Coach Clay Helton to be gone, and I get it. But I do believe that we can turn things around under Coach Clay Helton. I'm not necessarily giving it all away and saying that it's over. I'm not going to say that, but I do believe that this team can still improve. It was just one game. Things change from one game to the next. But do I think we'll do it against USC? No, I don't think so. Like I said, I'll be surprised if we cover the spread. I think one thing with Georgia Southern, they really need to learn how to play some more solid defense. I mean, we talked about this on the live streams. We talked about this on the videos. We even talked about this when we reacted to the press conference. We need to get better on defense. And I know Coach Clay Helton's trying to say it's misalignment or whatever. I just think the scheme is just wrong, guys. The scheme is just bad. So when you look at the scheme and you see what USC can do, USC just dropped 73 on Missouri State. Now, do I think that we're that bad? No. But I would not be surprised if USC drops 50 on us. And I hate to say it like that, and it sounds so negative. But, yeah, it's like, look, we need to do something to make things happen. I mean, Boise State dropped 50 on us. Ole Miss dropped 50 on us last year. And then, you got this team right here that's good that we about to play. Oh, I forgot. Even Old Dominion dropped 47 on us. So it's quite possible that we could see another repeat of that again. I don't think they'll drop 70. If they drop 70 on us, it's gonna be time for Coach Clay Helton to go. Now, I'm sorry. At that point, it's time to go. I get it that USC is a better team. I get it that these guys are looking for to be in the national spotlight when it comes to the college playoff. I get where USC is trying to go. But if they do another 70 piece in 2 weeks in a row, and the second week is against us, we really need to start thinking about getting rid of Coach Clay Helton. I don't care what he does with Jacksonville State. I don't care what he does with Maine or the rest of the Sun Belt. I think, this may be his final year. Maybe, directly or indirectly tell him that, look, this might be it for you. But with that extension, and honestly, the way things are going with the program, it's going to be really hard to get rid of him. And that's the tough part. So we may be in a situation where we're going to be looking at 6 to 8 wins every season for the foreseeable future, where you really want 9 to 11 wins when it comes to Georgia Southern. I just talked to somebody the other day, and I saw it in my comment section that they were saying, like, why Georgia Southern, with the pedigree that they have and everything that they got going for themselves, why Georgia Southern isn't one of the top group of 5 or group of 6 teams in the FBS. And this is something I thought about as well, so it's good to know that other people are on the same page, wondering why this team cannot get to that level, let's say where Boise State was last year. When you look at the group of 5, you get at least one team from the group of 5 that get in the college playoff. You would think with this format, you would think that coming out the Sun Belt, we will be one of those teams. And to be honest, it's probably still possible. Even if you lose USC, if you run the table and go 10-2, or you know what I'm saying, or 11-2, it's a possibility. So it's not all is lost. But when you look at how the game was played this past weekend, you're not really confident. You're just not. So I'm kind of worried about that. And I think at the end of the day that things will turn around. I do believe that. But being a 29-point, underdog, it's just not going to be this week. No, I just don't think it's going to be this week. It's going to be more than likely we will turn things around with Jacksonville State and Maine, and the true test on what we're going to look like for the rest of the season will be, did I say Jacksonville State, sorry. But the true test will be what we do against JMU going to JMU. I think that will tell you what the rest of the season is going to look like at that point, because I did say 10-3 is viable for us. 8-4 is the floor. And the 3 losses are literally Fresno State, USC, and JMU. So even then, you're probably still in a good place, but you're going to have to rely on JMU losing another game for you to get in the Sun Belt title. But, you just look at, that's just looking far ahead. But this is where we are right now. I'm kind of like basically writing off this game that we have against USC because I already know what's going to happen. Now, could anything happen? Absolutely. Just ask Tulane. But when you're going into the Coliseum, you're playing USC, and you're going up against a team that just got rid of the coach that we have now, they may have something to prove and probably want to stick it to us. So it doesn't bode well. I think if anything, if you want to at least cover the spread, you got to do better ball control. Keep the ball out of USC's hands and basically try to keep things in front of you. And that's going to be tough if you're running the ball with USC. Because if you're running the ball with USC, it's going to be tough for Georgia Southern to stop anything. Because that run defense was abysmal. It really was. But yeah, 29.5-point favorites. Don't expect to cover the spread. I don't see that. But I will. It would be nice if they did at the very least, and walk away from the game healthy. No injuries. Let's go ahead and get ready for the next few games and get ready for conference play and just see how it goes from there. So that's basically what I have here. Let me know what you guys think. Do you think the 29.5-point favorite is too low? Do you think it should be higher? What are your guys' thoughts? I think it is pretty low. I'm gonna be honest. That's 30 points, and if they cover, that'd be great. If they win, that's even better. But we already know that may not be in the cards. But let me know what you guys think. I'm gonna get up out of here, and I'll see you guys with some more content. Check me out, like, share, and subscribe. Thank you guys. All right, I'm out. Peace.